Welcome, everyone. I'm Christine McIver, host of the Inspired Choices TV show. And today we have a wonderful, inspiring guest who's going to be sharing with us what she is doing to create greater in the world. Today, I have with me Dr. Deborah Unipan, and we're going to be talking about spiritual straight talk with Dr. Deborah Unipan, who is a seer. Welcome, Dr. Deborah.
Thank you very much.
I'm so happy you were able to be with us today. So, Dr. Deborah, tell us exactly what a seer is. Tell us about who you are.
Well, seer, there's only 7 of us on the earth, okay? So a seer all through history has come in. And what we do is we see things like we will see auras, we will see people's energies, we will see illness, we will see the level of their soul, we will see their soul's path, journey, their past lives, their present life, we will see circumstances or things going to play out before them or in front of us simultaneously. We will be able to see someone's journey, what they've come to learn, how they've come to grow, what they need to expand, where they're stopping short. So basically it's looking at them and being able to soul read. Okay. Soul read past life, present life, and future events.
Wonderful. So how did you get to this point? Can you take us back to when this first kind of started for you? How old were you, and what were some of the experiences that started to show you that this was a capacity of yours?
Well, I was very young. I could always see the angels, always see them. I would see them. They'd be flying around. I used to call my dancing friends. They would come and they would sit beside my bed. They would talk to me. And I would look at somebody, like when I was 6, I walked up to my mother and tapped her on the knee. And I said to her, "You won't die." And I turned and walked away. And she'd just been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And she didn't. She went into full remission. When I was 7, I was dragging my leg around the house going, I broke my leg, and my mom's looking at me, and my uncle called, he broke his leg. When I was 13, I was talking to a boy on the phone. I hung up the phone, walked in the living room, and fell to the ground. I said, "I've just broke my collarbone. I just got hit by a car." He had just got hit by a car and broke his collarbone.
Wow.
So all my life, when I was 10, I was playing in the backyard on a farm when I saw the 2-seater plane, and I saw the birds in the propeller, and I saw the man, and to this day I've never forgot his face, and he knew he was going to die. And so the birds plugged up the 2-seater plane, and I knew it was going to crash, so I'm screaming, and my grandfather comes running out, and he goes, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "They're going to die. The plane's going to die." And he looked at me, and then we heard the plane, and we just got in the house when the 2-seater plane came down and crashed.
Wow.
So that's my life.
That's been your life.
That's my life.
Wow.
All the time.
What was that like for your mother and for the people around you?
They were terrified.
They were
absolutely terrified. When my mother would take pictures, I'd have angels in the pictures. She'd break the pictures. She would break the camera. She'd run over it with the car. She'd tell me not to tell people. Utterly terrified. She would just say to people, like, just ignore her. It frightened her because she couldn't explain it.
So you're very comfortable explaining it.
Oh, yeah.
How comfortable are most people today in receiving what you share with them?
Most people love what I share. Some people seem to think every little deep, dark secret they do, they'll suddenly have a problem, that I'll look at them and I'll know. I don't care, and it doesn't matter to me. What I see is where you need help, where you need guidance. I don't see what you've done wrong or what you're thinking to do wrong. I'm not going to read your brain, right? I see where I can help you, or I'm told to leave you be and walk away, right? So I constantly hear my angels all the time talking, or I monitor your soul and your body. If I'm not meant to help you, I will literally see fog around you, so then I know I'm to leave you alone. If I see colors around you, then I know I'm to interact with you, or I'm to learn something from you.
Very cool. So when did you learn what each of these things meant? Like, were you young when you started to learn this, or did this kind of evolve over time when you learned what the fog meant and what the colors meant?
Well, the fog one I learned because I would try to help people if I saw a situation playing out, and they would freak out, and then I'd be indignant and go like, "What the heck? I was trying to help them." And they go, "Did we ask you to help them? You weren't supposed to help them." So then my angels would start putting fog over people, because my need, once I would see them, is I would walk up and try to stop you from doing whatever you're going to do if it was going to hurt you, or if you were in a situation that you needed to deal with, I'd want to shake you to help you to deal with it. And they were like, "You can't interfere. If they don't ask, you can't bother them." So then they started to put fog around them.
Do you require someone asking for your assistance before you can actually intervene and give them to them.
Absolutely.
So you're not someone that's going to walk up to somebody in a grocery store and say, "Excuse
not
me."
allowed to. Not allowed to.
So there are people out there. We actually see them on TV doing that. What's that all about?
The thing is this, I can verify what I see, and I can prove to you. I can connect you to your grandparent, your parent, your child, your partner that you've lost. I can connect you to your life experiences. When I'm talking to you about them, you know them. You recognize them, right? But when I see them and they walk into and up to people and start talking, if you notice, the person's usually very upset, very agitated, and what they've done is they've crossed their boundary line and their free will line. So I don't know how much of what they do is true versus how much, because I was taught by my angels. There's no workshops, no classes for what I do. I've just been this way my whole life, and I was this way before there was internet and Google. Right? So there was no library to go to.
That's a tagline,
right?
Deborah.
Like there's no one to say you have to do it this way. I learned on a need to know basis. Right? One time I saw a girl and a boy fighting in a parking lot, and I pulled over and I jumped out and I went over and I pushed him off of her and I said, "Get off of her." And he turned and looked at me and he ran. She punched me. She knocked me right to the ground. I'm like, what? And off she went. And they said, "We told you not to interfere. It wasn't your fight." I'm like, what the frick?
That must have been frustrating for you to learn all of the signs, as it were.
Oh, because you don't, there's no book to open. There's no class to do. Like someone will say, "Oh, they're a medium," or someone will say, "Oh, they're psychic." Well, I've got it all. I've got it all. When I was a child, very young, and I mean, I love reading the Bible. I love studying things for myself. I would go to church and I'd ask questions, and they would look at me really confused because they couldn't answer what I was asking, right?
The people in the church.
People in the church. And I was 4, 5, 6 years old going to Bible classes, signing myself up. Right? I would go, Jesus was on the felt board. There'd be me, I was their only student. And they'd be like, "We have to stop class." Why? Because you're the only student they showed up, right? I'm like, "But please, I want to learn." So I would sit outside and I would ask, and they would come and they would talk to me and they would show me and they would explain things to me. And so I learned as I went, and I learned when to step in, when to not step in. I learned to listen when they talk, right? When they would tell me things to do, never against your harm or against you.
Right.
But I would learn, like for my daughter, when I took her to the doctors when she was 2.5, and he said, "Oh, she's a chubby baby. Don't worry, it's just the flu." And on the way home, my angels were like, "Take her to the hospital now. Whenever you do, chain yourself to that hospital bed. Don't leave even when they call the police." So we did. We went. They said, "Just the flu." I wrapped my arms around the hospital bed, said, "Nope, I wasn't leaving." So they called in security and the police, and they called my pediatrician, and he goes, "I don't know what she knows, but she just knows things. Put her in a room and I'll be there." And within a couple hours, my daughter's skin began to fall off. So the doctor came in and he looked and he went, "This child has scarlet fever. Close this ward right down now."
Wow.
So he said, if you had taken her home, just like my angel said, she would have been dead by morning. So I learned to follow my cues and clues.
Right.
Right?
What does it give you personally when you are working with someone else and you are contributing to them, when you're sharing, what they've asked some assistance on? What is it giving you, Deborah?
It's like the biggest Christmas present you could ever get.
Wow.
Right? Like if somebody comes to me and they've been infertile for 15 years, I've had that 12, 15 years, and they've been told there's no hope, and I look and go, "Oh no, there's a baby. I see not just one, but I see 2. Yeah, there's a baby." And they're looking at me, and so I say, "Okay, these are the things you need to do," and they follow, and then they call me, and they're about to deliver right now, okay, a little girl. And you're just like, "Oh my God, this is Christmas." Or the little girl that had like cerebral palsy symptoms, and they said she had it, and I held and rocked her and sang to her. And when I did, and then I said, "You sing this song every night." 6 months later, I said, "You're going to be on your bike driving around," and she was. And the doctor said they must have made a mistake. She didn't have that disease. It's like Christmas. It's like, oh, like you were able to touch somebody and get them back on track. It's like they got a little off track. They needed someone with love to hold to get them back on track again. And then away they fly.
So you're kind of like the spiritual GPS.
So I tell you, it's one time for New Year's, I was out at Victoria Park, and so someone had told me, if you eat 12 grapes at midnight, your man will come, right? So I'm trying to eat 12 grapes at midnight. People are knocking them down, like, "Don't get on my man, don't get on my man." And I'm trying to pick up grapes from the ground, and so I'm like, I'm waiting, thinking he's going to burst through the crowd and go, "Here I am," right? Well, no one burst through the crowd, right? So I went home and I was like, oh, went to sleep. And this little girl came in my dream 3 times that night. She said, my mommy and daddy are arguing. They don't know I have meningitis, meningococcal meningitis. Help me. So you can imagine, you've only met me once, maybe a year ago. I call you up and I say to you, oh, guess what? I'm coming to your house for a tea. And you're like, what? No, my daughter's not feeling well. No, I'll be there in half an hour. So I show up. Dad looks like he wants to put me in the ground. Mom's looking at me. So I explain to them about the dream I've had 3 times. As I'm holding their daughter, who's saying my name, she's 2. I haven't met her before. So I'm rocking her, holding her. And they had just got back from the walk-in clinic. The phone rings. The hospital calls, say, get her to the hospital. She has meningococcal meningitis. They take her. When they get there, they test her. She doesn't have it anymore. I had a stiff neck and fever for 2 whole weeks.
Oh my.
And the little girl was perfect as can be.
That's
That's my life. Like,
That's your
it's
life.
just, there's no books. You just do it.
Wow. We are going to take a quick break. Oh my goodness. You are with Christine McIver, host of Inspired Choices TV. When we come back, we're going to dive more into this spiritual straight talk with Dr. Deborah Unipan. She's got a lot to share with us, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Christine McIver of Inspired Choices TV. Today, we are talking with none other than Dr. Deborah Unipan. Dr. Deborah is a seer, and she's been telling us all about her journey. So, Deborah, let's talk about spiritual straight talk.
Okay.
You, I've known you for about a year now, and you are one of our radio show hosts here on Inspired Choices Network. You definitely call a spade a spade.
Yes, I do.
I love that about you. You're so direct. Tell us how that works and what really kind of motivates you to be that direct with people.
Well, because people like truth and they need truth. If I Peter Pan it, if I make it peanut butter, right, then I'm not helping you to grow. My job isn't to be your best friend. My job isn't to pat you and pretend. My job is to help you see your potential, but also look at the short points and the challenges. Let's get over them together, and let's get you back on track where you can flow. My job isn't to be your ATM machine to give you answers all the time. My job is to help you tune in so that you can get your connections going with your angels, with your loved ones. They're talking all the time. It's just people get so caught up in the external, they get lost. So sometimes the only way to wake them up is to kind of be blunt and kind of go, whack. Right? This is what you need to do. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up, Buttercup. Do you ever have people like really resist your straight talk?
Oh, absolutely. And then I'll look and smile and say to them, it's okay if you're not ready for me. If you're not ready, go away. And then when you're ready, you'll come back, and you will. And sometimes, I rarely have it happen. Most times they look a little stunned, right? One time I knocked on the gentleman's head. He just stared. And I thought, whoa, dude, what are you doing? A year later, I got this beautiful letter from him, how he changed his life. But he said he couldn't even speak. He said he just listened. Wow. So and you got to remember something. The angels give them exactly what they need at the level they're at. And they talk to me, they're talking, they channel. I'm a channeler, right? I just channel information. So I always say, I'm the instrument in God's hand. I'm just the channel that they talk to tell you. And so they know what they need when they need it. I see maybe 98% around them. They'll maybe get 34 to 60%. Depends on the level they're at.
So it depends on what you mean is it depends on the level of what they can receive at the time.
What they can be open to, right?
Right.
And you baby step everybody through the process. No one wants to be told what to do because that's against their free will. So I suggest things that could work or try, and I'm right there with them. I'm like, I'm your coach. Come on, I got your hand. We can do this together. Sometimes people just need someone to say, I got your back. I got your hand. Right?
Right. So when you are actually working with someone, you are giving them what their angels are saying to you.
Yep.
So your ego is not in this.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter what I would think. It doesn't matter what I would think because they know, their angels know their path. They know their past life. They know what they come to learn this lifetime, what they've come to accomplish. So the whole goal is to help you to awaken to your full potential. So there's none of this, let me tell you, because when I have a spiritual lesson, let me tell you, I'm like screaming up and down and having a temper tantrum. And they'll say, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Like I say to them, I have a bigger temper tantrum than you. It takes me a while to calm down. So I never say to them, oh, I know. I just suggest this is what they're saying could work for you.
Right. Okay.
Because
So
it's a learning curve, right?
it is a learning curve. So in that whole essence of a learning curve, is what you do something that we can also learn to some degree?
Absolutely.
So how would we go about doing that?
First of all, for every single person, you need to learn to be aware of you. I'm aware of everything. I'm aware of my surroundings. Like when I was coming here today, someone's license plate said Seer 911, which I laughed because I'm the one you come to when you got in crisis, right?
Yes.
And I went, look, they're already saying welcome to me, right? So I'm aware of that, right? The driver was like, oh, didn't even notice. I'm aware of my surroundings all the time. I'm aware of my body. I know when my body feels right, it doesn't feel right. I know what I'm doing when I'm doing. But I also take the time to connect. And I say to you all, your angels are talking to you all the time. Your loved ones are talking to you all the time. You guys miss the signs because you're not cueing in to look for them. When you start to cue into how you feel, your solar plex, your soul, is there for a reason. It gives you that, maybe not a good idea, eat the 13th Twinkie at midnight. Probably not, right? And
I love the, I've been doing intuition work as well for a number of years and felt over the last couple that it's just gotten stronger and stronger. I don't know that it's gotten stronger. I've actually made the conscious choice to listen more attentively.
And not judge. Don't judge yourself.
Right. That is a huge piece. That is a really huge piece. And it does take everyone, however long it takes each of them.
Absolutely. It's in their soul. Their soul will only give them what it knows they can handle. And the main block I see with people is they're so judgmental to themselves, not others, but to themselves. They expect so much. They also expect it to happen. And honestly, if you are all sitting having your coffee and all of a sudden you heard, hello, you'd project off the chair and be running, right? So your angels are gentle. They may touch your hair. They may give you a smell. They open gently to connect with you. People want to connect, but they're scared because it's the unknown.
It's funny, we do have these little nudges every once in a while. I have this little candle at home. It's in a little can. It's a small little candle in a can. I have had this candle in this can with the lid off, Deborah, in my home for at least 15 years. Now, one would think that the scent of that candle would be long gone. I mean, it's literally this small, and it's in a very large room. And when my guides want to get my attention, I will smell that candle.
See, they'll give you scent.
And I know that now.
That's your first cues, is your scent, right?
Yes. And now, is scent the first cue for everyone? Is that the most gentle of us?
It is the most gentle. They usually give you smell or dreams. One of the two will be your first cues. It will be signs and symbols in your dreams, prophecy in your dreams. You'll say something, then it'll happen, or it will be smells, right? All of a sudden you'll smell beautiful flowers, or your grandmother's lavender, or bubble gum. Like they'll give you really sweet, because that'll catch your attention. You'll stop and go, what's that?
Right.
And then do the cues.
Will our loved ones who have passed, will they also communicate with us through scent?
Oh, 24/7. Your grandmother will give you her favorite smell. Your grandfather will give you his pipe. All of a sudden you'll smell your partner's cologne. Oh, they work with smells all the time.
My father's favorite cologne was Old Spice.
See, so you'll smell it.
Yeah, I will actually come across, and I'll be walking down an aisle, and all of a sudden I will see it. I don't necessarily smell it very often. So
that's his sense, him being with you, that he's around you at that moment, because he's drawn it. So they give you thought impressions in your mind.
Right.
They give you, and I say to people all the time, you hear without realizing. When you're driving home, you go, oh, I got to get milk. I got to get milk. Out of the blue, you just got to get something.
Yes.
And you go and grab it. You go home, you find out you're going to milk. You're like, or you go home, didn't get it, and you're like, crap, I'm supposed to get milk.
Why didn't I listen?
Right? We get it all the time.
Yeah.
It's just learning to allow it. And I always say this, if they tell you to do or give you suggestions for, ask for 3 signs. I never do anything unless I get 3 signs.
Wonderful.
Because that's a confirmation.
So you can ask.
You can ask your angels or your loved ones, if this is a good thing for me to do, then if this is a job you want me to, if this is positive for me, give me 3 signs about this job. And you'll get it.
And you'll get it. That's
always.
Fantastic. So I know that you also do in-person workshops as well. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. I do lectures with meditations for healing. And then I help you all to clean and clear all the old energy from you. And then what I do is I then help you to heal in a meditation with your angels that will come, because I can link all your energies together with the angels to raise your vibrational cells so that I can give you healing. And then I give you another one. Okay, now let's excel to travel to see. And then the angels help you to open up your sight.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
So, Deborah, if there was anything else that you would ever want to do in your life, what would it be?
I always wanted to work for the post office.
Post office.
I always wanted to be a mail girl. I always did, because I figured you get your exercise, so you're going to be perfect weight. You're outside all the time, roaming, right? Get the fresh air. I always wanted to be, and I could never get in. That's the only other thing I ever wanted to do.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have seen you as that, but that's very,
I'm a farm girl,
interesting.
right? We love the
You're
outside.
You're a farm girl.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you for what you're doing in the world. You definitely have so many people that are loving the contributions that you bring, and you are inspiring. You do, and give us the spiritual straight talk. I absolutely love that about you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, my sweetheart. I love you too.
So, Deborah, if someone wants to get in touch with you, reach out and book a personal session or get you for a lecture, where do they go? What is your website address?
So it's DeborahAwakeningWithAngels.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us today here on Inspired Choices TV. Please do come back next week where we will have another inspiring guest creating greater in the world. I'm your host, Christine McIver. Until next time.